In the throwaway mystery, a sniper brings a real gun into a paintball competition. He tries to kill a little boy, and the boy mistakes the Hardys for superheroes.
Argo Font Book Review, Argo Font Book Review.
At school, Mrs. Bartlett announces that Cassie London is going to the state spelling bee. Chet has a crush on Cassie and wonders what to do about it. The Hardys don't tell him to go away for the rest of the book, but that's what happens. Brian Conrad is there. Brian Conrad is always there. He has a girlfriend who looks just like ATAC agent Lindsay Ryder, which totally threw me off. In my last review, I said Lindsay should date one of the Hardys. Now it looks like she's dating Brian Conrad. That is a terrible surprise. Playback the parrot is sick. Frank takes Playback to the vet, where the employees wear large cat ears. You know, like all veterinarians do. Everyone gets way too upset when Frank's phone rings. An old man jumps up and goes, "What, Sam Hill?" And the other person's like, "Ugh, you ring much?" It's like they've never heard of cell phones before. Frank can't have a normal trip to the vet because that wouldn't be interesting. So the vet is attacked by 3 random culprits. They steal dogs for experiments, just like in the movie Beethoven. Frank fights 2 culprits, but the third one holds him off with a gun. The stolen dogs have GPS chips, so Frank and the vet are able to follow the culprits to their hideout. Frank fights them again, he saves the vet's life, and the culprits surrender when the dogs growl at them. In the main story, Mrs. Bartlett arrives at the Hardy house. Cassie London went to London. Okay. So now they need Joe to replace her at the spelling bee. Joe meets a cute girl named Tam. He's startled when she sneaks up on him, and without thinking, they both attack each other with simple martial arts moves. It sounds just like Joe to mistake fighting for flirting. Today's mission is to stop a maniac named the Hangman, who attacks people at spelling bees. Joe is extremely nervous because he doesn't have Frank as backup, and it's not like he can explore the building when he's on stage spelling words. The Hangman tries to kill someone with a stage light. Joe tackles her to safety, and the spelling bee competition gets tough. Joe says he liked it better when Tam had a crush on him. Frank arrives and searches the area. The veterinarian calls with an update on Playback. Playback said bay ounce twice in the book. It turns out he's not saying bay ounce. He's saying abeyance! Dun dun dun, what? Abeyance is the last word in the spelling bee, and it's a secret password which opens up a trap door on stage. Tam almost falls to her death in a pit of spikes, but the Hardys save her. Frank and Joe rush outside to catch the culprit. The culprit is Mrs. Bartlett. She forced her wimpy grandson Barry to dress up like the Hangman and kill people because he's bad at spelling bees. So the culprit's motive for murder is Grandma told me to do it. This book is stupid. The end. Postbook follow-up. Playback the parrot knew the culprit's secret password is abeyance. How does he know this? She says abeyance on the last page of chapter 2, but she is well outside of earshot of Playback at that point. He couldn't have heard it. Besides, Playback was sick long before that scene. It makes no sense for him to be upset about the secret password before he learns what the secret password is. Either way, it is a huge leap of logic to go from, "I heard a woman say a word once," to, "That must be her secret murder password!" It was an interesting idea to have Joe solve a mystery on his own. I think the premise would have worked better if Joe actually did solve a mystery on his own. Instead, Joe mostly did nothing but wait for Frank to show up. Frank spends half the book on a dog napping case that has nothing to do with the main story. Honestly, the story would have played out the same way if Frank had been stuck in bad traffic or something. We never learn who won the spelling competition. Tam was interrupted in the middle of the last word. She could have gotten it wrong, in which case the competition would continue. They changed the cover art for this book. Now it matches the logo from the Undercover Brothers trilogy series. Overall, I'd say this is a typical book from the series. It's mindless action, there's no attempt at investigating suspects or the crime scene. The twist ending with playback makes no sense if you think about it for a bit. Grandma told me to do it is a pretty stupid mystery solution, no matter how you look at it. I give Hardy Boys Undercover Brothers graphic novel number 18, D.A.N.G.E.R. spells the Hangman, a 1 out of 10.